cell object. Okay, to operate on cell object, you should first reference them. Okay, what is reference? Reference is to find them out. Okay, to operate on the cells, you first you should find the cells. Okay, reference select, insert, copy, paste, cut, delete. Set names, set fonts and formats. This is a cell object. First, referencing a single cell. Okay, a single cell, for example, A1, C3. Okay. Here is the measure, xlwings measure and xlwings API measure. To reference cell A1, each of these command can be used. Okay. The first one use a string A1 to specify the coordinate of the cell. Okay. To show the results, select method is used. This is not the reference. Reference is the middle. This is a reference. Okay. Use the coordinate to reference the cell. Okay. This is the second method. Range. This is a row number. This is the column number. Okay. The xlwings method uses a square bracket string. Here use the cells property to reference cell A1. Cells this column. This is the name of the column. This row number, column letter. This is xlwings method. xlwings API method is one of these command to range property, cells property. Okay. This is an example. So C3 where is C3 is selected here. You can test the other lines one by one by yourself. Each of them can select cell C3. Okay. Referencing a single cell. Referencing multiple cells. xlwings method, xlwings API method. Okay. Range property. The string, use a string to specify the multiple cells. Here, B2, C5, and D7. Three cells here. But note that the cells are not continuous cells. Between the cells, use to separate them. Okay. the second use a square bracket to reference the cells. xlwings with API measure. First, run. Okay, 3 cells, B2, C5, and D7. There's 3 cells are selected here. You can test the other 2 command line by yourself. Okay. Referencing multiple cells. Referencing cells by name. Okay. For a cell, you can specify a name for it first. Then use a name to reference the cell. xlwings method, xlwings API method. For the cell C3, first specify a name test for cell C3. Then use the name test to reference the cell. Okay, selected. API method. xlwings method. C3. Specify a name for it. Then use the name to reference the cell. Okay, run. C3. Okay. Referencing cells by name. Referencing cells by variables with variables. When programming, we often use a variable to specify the coordinate of the cells. Okay. For example, xlwings method, xlwings API method. Okay. Here, I is a variable. The value is 3. Then when we specify the coordinate of the cell, specify the column letter is C. Row number, column letter, row number is specified by the variable I here. I here is 3. Okay. Then the cells C3 is referenced. Or you can cells properly to specify C3. Use variables. Okay. C3 is selected. Okay. Please test the other method one by one by yourself. Okay. Referencing cells with variables. Referencing an entire row. Entire row includes single row and multiple rows. Here is continuous multiple rows. Okay, single row. xlwings method and xlwings API method. xlwings method. For example, row 1. Okay. Select row 1. Auto reference use a string 1 to 1, 1 to 1 as a parameter of range measure. Okay. Xlwings measure can also use a square bracket specify the string here to reference entire row. Okay, it's a single row. The API measure use rows measure, a range measure. Okay. Range objects, the entire row property of a range object can also reference entire row. Multiple rows. For example, rows 1 to 5 specify the rows number here, 1 to 5. So string as a parameter of a range method. 1 to please note that here 1 to 5 is a string. This another method use a square method to reference. Here 0 to 5 specifies the numbers for the row number, all the columns. This is different from this one. Here is a string. Here is a number. The number 5 is not included in the ranges. Okay. 0 specifies the first row, row 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 rows. API measure. Okay. Entire row properties. Referencing entire row. A single row xlwings method. The first line referencing row 1. Row 1. Use this string to measure, to specify, to reference row 1, 1 to 1. Okay. API measure. We know entire row property. Multiple rows. Okay. 1 to 5. These two measures, please note the differences of these two measures. API measure, okay. Wrong. Now the first row 1 is selected now. Okay. The other method, you can test them one by one by yourself. Okay. Referencing an entire row. Referencing an entire column. Okay. They include single column and multiple columns. Each of single column and multiple column is xlwings method and xlwings API method. Xlwings method, single row. Single row, you can specify to reference single row. Use A to A string to reference column 1. Okay. API method, there is a full method to reference column 1. Okay. Use columns method. Columns method. You can use a number or the name of the columns to reference the column, specify the column. Or use a range method, A to A, with A1. the entire column of the range object to reference entire column. Multi-columns. For example, column 2 to column C, B to C as a string specified range measure. Okay. Or use square bracket. All the rows and a column 2 to column 3. Okay, the 3 is not included in the columns. 1 is specified as column 2. Okay, it's a number. API measure. B to C. Okay, columns measure, range measure, entire column property of range object. Okay. Okay, single column, multi columns. Xlwings measure, API measure, xlwings measure, API measure. Xlwings measure reference column 1, A to A specified the column number here, column name here. Wrong. So the column A is selected. The other method, you can test them one by one by yourself. Okay, referencing entire column. Referencing a general cell range. We referenced a single cell in the lessons. Row and column are also cell range. Okay. A general cell range. Why we say general cell range? Because there are some special cell range we will introduce in the next later lessons. Okay. General cell lesson is a rectangle range. Reference the cell range to specify the, for example, here A3 to C8. A3 is in left top cell, and C8 is right bottom cell. Okay. Use these two cells to define the cell range. Okay. Specify the string as a value of the parameter specified to range measure. Select it. Okay. You can also specify left top cell and right bottom cell separately as two parameters set to range measure. Here use range measure to reference A3 and C8, then separately specify to a range measure. Here a cells measure is used here. You can use in this syntax. Okay. API measure. You can compare with both syntax one by one. Okay. referencing a general cell range of cells. Okay. xlwings method, API method, select the cell range A3 to C8. Okay, A3 to C8. The cell range is selected. Please test the other method by yourself. Referencing offset constructed cell range introduce in next lesson the general cell range. Okay, general cell range is compared with special cell range. Now the special cell range comes here. Okay, this lesson we reference special cell range. The special cell range is constructed by offset. Okay. Offset, you can offset in the direction of vertical or horizontal, in rows direction or columns direction. Okay. xlwings method, API method. xlwings method use the offset method of range object to do the offset. Okay. If a number of the parameter of offset method is 1, then it offset in direction of rows, the vertical direction. The number the direction is down. The number is rows specifies a number of the rows. Okay, offset 1 means that offset 1 row downward. Okay. If the number of the parameter of offset method is 2, then the first parameter specifies the number of rows in downward. The second parameter specifies a number of columns offset rightward. Okay. One number downward 1 row. So A3 to C8 after offset. The coordinate becomes A3, A4 to C9. Okay. The second A3 to C8. One column rightward, so it becomes B3 to D8. 1 row downward, 1 column rightward, so becomes B4 to D9. So, API measure is more complex than the xlwings method. Okay. Xlwings method, API method, offset. H3 to C8 offset one row downward. So now is A4 to C9, the cell range is selected. One row downward, okay. You can test the other method by yourself, okay. Referencing cells by name range. We have introduced the referencing cells by name, okay. We can also specify a name for a cell range. Here use range method to create a cell range. Specify a name for the range. Then referencing the cell range use the name xlwings method, API method. Okay, create the cell range. Create a name. Use a name to reference the cell range selected. Run. Okay, now the H3 to C8, the cell range is selected. Here, the name is used. Referencing cells by name range. Referencing cells in a cell range, okay. In a cell range, reference the cells in a specified cell range. We can use we call the related referencing, absolute influencing referencing, and related referencing. For example, here xlwings method, API method. xlwings method, we can first use the range method to create a cell range B2 to define. Then we reference the first cell in the cell range. Use this method. Use square brackets. The coordinate is related coordinate. 0, 0. 0, 0 here is specified. Specifies the first the left top corner. The cell in the cell range is B2. Okay. API method. Okay. 1, 1. API. The base number. xlwings method is 0. API method is 1. Please note it. Here we use two coordinate value to specify the position of the cell. We can also use liner index. Liner index, xlwings method, API method. For example, create the cell range B2 to define. In this cell range, if the number of the if there are only one number in the square bracket, then the liner index is used. For example, 2. Then the third cell is selected. Okay. API measure. API measure. Here is 3. Okay. Selection. Okay. Selection is to specify continuously multiple cells in cell range B2 to D5. You can use a selection 1 to 3, 1 to 3 here. 1, 2, 1, 2 cells. Use a 2, 2. Separately specify the row number and the column number. Coordinate index, another index, selection, 3 parts. Coordinate index. You two coordinate value, row number and column number. This is related the coordinate values. Zero specifies the first cell, left top. So B2 is selected. Lander index. Lander index B2 to D5. Okay. Reference the third cell. The third cell. Please note that in this cell range there are 2 directions: the column, the row. So we must know that the row first, column first, row first, or column first. So here is row first, B2, C2, D2, 1, 2, 3. So the row first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So one index number is row first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, just liner index. Selection. Selection is to reference continuously multiple cells. Okay. Here B in the cell range B2 to D5. In this cell range 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 2. Fat is 2 to 3, 2 to 3. Okay. is slicing. Okay, our references cells in a cell range. Referencing all cells. Xlwings measure, API measure. Xlwings measure. SHT is a worksheet object. Use cells property of the worksheet object to reference all cells in the worksheet. Okay. API measure, similar measure. You can also use the range, measure. API measure, you can also select all rows and all columns to select all cells. Okay, run. So all the cells are selected. Please test the other method by yourself. Okay. Referencing all cells. Referencing multiple cell ranges at once. Okay. Please note that the multiple cell ranges are not continuous, are not collected. Okay. For example, here we have 3 cell ranges, A2 and B3 to C8, E2 to F5. To reference the 2 cell ranges at once and select them. The first method I use the square brackets. Use a string to specify the 3 cell ranges. Between them, separate them. The second method, use a range method to specify to reference these 3 cell ranges. API method. Run. Now these 3 cell ranges are selected. A2, B3 to C8, E2 to F5. Being selected at once. In select, you can test the other 2 methods. Okay. Referencing the current region of a given cell. So here is a concept. What is the current region of a given set? Here is a picture here. In this worksheet, there is a shaded error. This error is a current region of the given cell C3. For C3, this shaded error is its current region. Okay. Look at this current region. You can find that the cells around the shaded error are all blank cells. Okay. or empty cells. So if this region is surrounded by empty cells, then the region is the current region of the given cell. How to reference the current region of a given cell? xlwings method, API method. In fact, we have a method, we have a property to get the current region. Okay. xlwings current here is underline here. Current region API method have no underline. Has no C3 open given Excel file current xlsx. Okay, open it. Okay, the file is open. C3, the user region of the cell, specified cell C3 is user region is selected. So the shaded area is this the cells around the shaded area are all empty cells. Okay. This is a current region, special cell region. Another special cell range we call the used range of a worksheet. What is used range of a worksheet? In this picture, the worksheet one, sheet one. There were some numbers in the worksheet. The shaded area is the used range of worksheet sheet one. Okay, so so the used range of the worksheet is a rectangle that include include all these numbers exactly. Okay. A minimal rectangle. A minimal rectangle that include all these numbers. So smallest error contains all the data in the worksheet. How to reference this cell range? Also, there are specified properties. xlwings method, you can use used underline range. Use this property to reference. API method, used range. There is no underline. Okay, open the worksheet, the workbook. In this worksheet, smallest error include all these numbers. This is the used region, used range of the specified worksheet. Okay. Referencing the used range of a worksheet. Referencing a set of cell ranges. Okay. If you have one more cell range, you can compute the set of these two of these cell ranges. For example, I use Union method of application object to compute the Union set of given cell ranges. Use intersect method to compute this intersect set of given cell ranges. Okay. Union. Two cell ranges before to D8, and C2 to F5. Okay, the two cell ranges compute the union set of the two cell ranges. Okay, this is the union of two given cell ranges. Then we compute the intersect set of the two cell ranges. Okay. Run. This is the intersect of the two cell ranges. Okay. Referencing a set of cell ranges. Expanding the reference to cell ranges in the current worksheet. Okay. For a given cell, a resize method of range objects can be used here to expand the reference to the cell ranges. The number of the parameters of resize method can be 1 or 2. If the number of the parameter is 1, then that means the expanding direction is downward. Okay, downward. This number includes the current row. For example, resize 3 means that the expanding direction is downward. Downward include 3 rows. These 3 rows include the current row. Okay, so C2 resize 3 means that the expanding cell range is C2 to C4. Okay, rows downward. Okay, if the number of the parameters is 2, then the first number, the first parameter specifies the rows. Okay, the second number specify the columns expanded. For example, resize here resize 1, 3, okay, 2 parameters. Then in the vertical direction, 1 means that there is no with expanded. Okay, 3 means that the columns, expanding columns is 3. 3 include the current column. So the column C, D, E. Okay, E. Okay. So for C2, then the expanding cell right is C2 to E2. Okay. This the first syntax expanded in vertical direction. The second expanded in horizontal direction. Okay. The third syntax besides 3, 3. Okay. So the in both directions, the expanded number is 3. Okay, 3 rows are 3 columns. Of course, include the current row and the current column. So the C2 expanded result is C2 to E4. Okay, this is xlwings method. API method. The syntax is different. Okay. Use this syntax. In direction of downward, the direction of rightward, in the direction of downward and rightward. And also, xlwings, in xlwings method, expand method of the range object can also be used to expand the reference of cell range. First syntax, C4, expand here the parameter is string, table string. That means this syntax returns the used region. The current region of C4, okay. And the second syntax equivalent to the method above, so it also return the current region of C4, okay. You can also specify the expanding direction with the third syntax and the fourth syntax. The third expand downward, okay. The expand rightward. This is it. Let's say the example. Expand reference to the current worksheet cell range, okay. xlwings method, API method. The other method or xlwings method, okay. The first syntax, that means expanding in the direction of downward. The number is 3, include the current row. So are wrong. Okay, C2 to C4, the cell range is selected here. So expanding in direction of downward. The other syntax you can test by yourself, one by one, okay. expanding the reference to cell lines in the current worksheet. Referencing the next row on another column. Expense method, API method. Okay. First next row, the next column. Expense method. Let's see the first syntax. For given cell A1, use the end method of the cell range object, the range object to reference the next row here. The parameter down is a string, specifies a direction is next row. Okay. So the first syntax refers the next row. The second, the first syntax selects the next row. The second syntax return the row number of the next row. Okay. This one we use sales measure. Sales measure to return a cell range and use end method of the your range object to refer to the next row. Here and the other cell reference method is used. Okay. API method and here the parameter use a constant to specify the direction. Okay, downward. That is next row. Next column. xlwings method, API method. Okay. Also, the end method is used here, but the parameter right. The string right specifies the direction. So here the next column is referenced. Okay. API method. Here the parameter use a constant to specify the direction. Okay. Let's see the example. Referencing the next row and next column. Next row, next column. xlwings method, API method. xlwings method, API method. Okay, the first syntax here. Select the next row. Okay. The second line here return the row number of the next row. Okay, run. Okay. First, open the Excel file nest.xlsx. Nest A1 nest row is 4 is 5. The row number is 5. Okay, the 5 is returned here. And here is selected. Okay. Referencing the next row and the next column. Referencing special cells. Okay, when we present the worksheet, we there are often some special cells in the worksheet. For example, the empty cells, or the cell contains comments, constants, formulas, or whether it's a nested cell, or have the same format conditions, same validation. Visible cells, okay. The special cells. How to find the special cells? Okay. By using the API method here, we can use the special cells method of a given cell range. Use the parameter to specify the types of the special cells. Use a constant to specify the type. Okay. Please note that syntax sw dot constants dot cell type dot then cell type blank. That means to find empty cells in the worksheet, in the cell region, cell range. Okay. There are many other constants in this table. Okay. Blanks. Okay. Special constants contains constants, contains formulas. Okay. Contains comments. Formulas. Okay. Let's. First, open the Excel file special.xlsx. There are some special cells in the worksheet. Okay. API method. The first syntax find all the blank empty cells in the current region of B2. Okay. The second, when all the cells contains constants. The third, when all the cells that contains formulas. And also other special cells, you can test it by yourself. Okay. Run. Find all the empty cells in the current region, region of cell B2. Special. Here, in this cell range, only the first cell is empty, so it's selected here. Okay, there are some cells. Some cells contains comments. Okay, some cells have format. Some cells including contains constants. You can test the other special cells by yourself. Okay. Referencing special cells. Okay, in this lesson, we will introduce some properties of a cell range. Okay. Include the rows of a range, columns of a range, top left coordinate of a range, bottom right coordinate of a range, the shape of a range, size of a range. Okay. First, row count and column count, xlwings method, API method. The properties rows.count and columns.count can be used to get the row count and column count. API method also rows.count, columns.count. Then top left corner coordinates, xlwings method, API method. First, get the cell range, then use row property and column property to get coordinate. Row property, column property. The bottom right corner coordinates. First, get the bottom right. Get the bottom right corner cell. Okay. For xlwings method, I use another cell property to get the bottom right corner cell. Okay. API method, use this method to get the bottom right corner cell. Then use row and column property to get row number and column number. Shape, size, use xlwings method. Use shape property and size property to get the shape and size. So it's an example. First, open the Excel file covering that XSX. Get the active worksheet. First, row count and column count. xlwings method, API method. Top left corner coordinates. Bottom right corner coordinates. Shape, size. Okay. First, select the user range or the worksheet, and then print the row counts, the row count of this region. Run. Okay, the user region is selected. And the row count of this region is 7. Okay, 7 is then the shape and size. Shape and size. Print. Okay, run. Let's say the output. This is a row count. 7, 7. This is the shape. Okay. 7 rows, 7 columns. The size is 7 multiplied 7. So the result is 49. Okay, some properties of a cell range. Okay, inserting cells or range. Okay, xlwings API. Okay, to insert cells and range, the method insert of the range object can be used. Insert method has two parameters, shift and copy origin. The shift parameter specifies the direction after the cell or cell range being inserted. The cells in the origin positions, how to move. Okay, to move down or move to right. So the value of the shift parameter must be XL shift down or XL shift to right. We know that the to right there is a 2. Copy origin. This parameter specifies the format of the inserted cells or inserted cell lines. The format from left or above or from right or below. Okay. xlwings method, API method. For syntax 1, the first syntax for cell C3, insert insert a cell. After the cell be inserted, the origin C3 moves downward. Okay. The inserted cell, the format of the inserted cell from above. Okay. The second syntax, here is a cell line. API method. The differences, many differences is a constants. Okay, so example. The example, first open the Excel file. There was some numbers and format in the worksheet. For the first sentence, C3, we will insert a cell in the position of C3 here. After C3 is inserted, the original cells moves down. Okay, moves down. So these 3 values are moved down. Okay. And also the second parameter specify the inserted cell has a format be same as the above cells C2. Okay, so this inserted cell is also has a green background. Okay, this is a this is the origin values. This is values after the cell being inserted. Okay, the values move down and the format of the inserted cell is same as cell above. Okay. So this is the result of syntax 1, the first syntax. Okay. Let's see the example. First, open the file insert that. So it looks like this. Okay. Close it. Then run. Open the file. Get active worksheet. Then in the position of C3, insert a cell. The cell after the cell being inserted, the original value moves down. Okay, and the format of the inserted cell C3, the format comes from the above cell. Okay. C3 is inserted cell. The original values moves down, and the format of C3 comes from above C2. Okay, so C3 also has the background color of green. Okay. You can test the other syntax by yourself, inserting cells or ranges. Okay. Selecting and clearing cells or cell ranges. Okay. Selecting cells and cell ranges we have introduced in the examples in the last lessons. Okay. So this lesson mainly introducing how to clear cells or cell ranges. We can clear all the contents, comments, formats, all the things in the cells, or only clear commands or contents or formats in the cells or cell ranges. Okay. Select the cell range. Select non-continuous. We have introduced. So clear. First, clear all content from a cell range. Use a clear method to clear all content. Clear text content of a cell. Only clear text content. So use clear contents or clear contents. This xlwings method, API method. Clear cell comments. Use method, API method, clear comments. Clear cell formatting, API method. Use method clear formats. Okay. Then open the file to test. Open the file, special data xlwings. Okay. Get active worksheet. The select we directly to show the clearing. Okay. Use clear method to clear all the content from a cell range. Okay. xlwings method, API method. If you only clear text content, cell. Use clear contents. Clear cell comments. Cell comments. Clear cell formatting. Clear formats. Here we test clear formatting. Okay. Run. All the formats in the cell range have been cleared. Okay. Comments are clear comments. Run. Okay, there's two comments are being cleared. Clear contains. Clear contents. So all the text contents are being cleared. Okay. Text content. Clear. Use clear method to clear all the contents, includes text contents, comments, and formats. Okay, all the contents have been cleared. Selecting and clearing cells or cell ranges. Cell name. We can create a name, specify a name for the cell or cell range. Then use the name to reference the cell or the cell range. Okay. First, the cells. xlwings method, API method. Use cells method to create a cell, C3. Then specify a name for this cell. Then use the name to reference the cell. API method. Okay. Cell range. xlwings method, API method. First, create a cell range, then specify a name for it. And then I use a name to reference this cell range and select it. Let's see the example. So the name. We have introduced this knowledge before. or create a cell object, specify a name for it, use the name to reference this cell and select it. Okay, C3 is been selected. Okay, you can test the other syntax here by yourself. Cell comments. How to create comments for a cell, okay, and how to operate on these comments. Only API method can be used here, okay. To create comments, we use the method of add comment of the range object. Create comment. You can use you can specify a string to the text parameter to specify the text of the comment. Okay. Use this code to check if cells A3 has a comment. With the comment property of a range object is none, then has no comment. Else has a comment. Hide a comment. Delete a comment. Hide says the visible position, the value of visible position to false. Delete, use a delete method. Okay. Example. Add a comment, create a comment. Then check if there is a comment in a specified cell. Hide a comment, delete a comment. Okay, run. There is nothing can be seen in this. Okay, there is nothing can be seen in this worksheet. Okay, because the created comments have been deleted by myself. Okay, cell comments. It's easy. Okay. Cell font settings. Okay, we can set a font format for the contents in the cell. Okay. Here, the API method is used. Use the font property of the range object to get a font object. Then use the properties of the font object to set the font format for the contents in the cell. For example, the name property of the font object to set the name, the font name. Color index to set color. To set color, we have this method to set RGB color. Use swutils that RGB to INT method. This function, use this function to set RGB color. Please note that there have nested brackets. Okay. This is also RGB color. you just measured a long number of this number, okay. This the RGB counter, this index counter, the same counter, okay. So we have different measures to define this counter. I use size property to specify the size of the font. Bold, whether set the font to bold or not, italic or not. Underline, so set the line style. Of the underline. Set the value or the set the value to the cell, okay. Run. Okay, A1 to E1, S3 to E3. Okay, so the phone for the cells or cell ranges. Cell alignment, setting the alignment of a specified cell, okay. For example, in cell C3, so the horizontal alignment to center, okay. Specify value for horizontal alignment property of range object. And the second syntax sets a value of as a center to a vertical alignment property. Okay, so the value. So the example. Okay, run. Okay, horizontal center. Run. Okay, horizontal center, vertical center. You can test the other alignment method. Cell background color. You can set background color for a cell or cell range. xlwings method, API method. The two methods are different. Okay. For xlwings method, you can directly specify the color property for a range of objects. Okay. It's a tuple. There are three values in the three elements in the tuple. That means the RGB component of the color. Okay. API method. You must first get the interior of the specified range. Then use the color of the interior objects to specify the color for the cell. Okay, and also you can use different method to define the color for the RGB color, color index, index color, same color. Okay. For example, we use xlwings method to specify the color for some specified cells and cell range. Okay. Wrong. Okay, the specified cell or cell range, the background has been changed. Okay. Cell background color. Our cell borders, the borders of the cell. To edit the properties of the borders, you can use borders property of the range object. The borders, in fact, is a collection object contains all the borders of the cell or cell range. Okay, all the cell or cell range include the edge, the bottom edge, left edge, right edge, top edge, inside horizontal, inside vertical, dialog down, dialog up, different edge, different types of edge. Okay. If you want to say the properties for one of these edge, one of this border, or some of these borders, then you can use the index to specify the border. Okay. If you want to specify properties for the left edge, you can add an index after the borders bracket. Then I use this content to specify the left edge. Okay. If no index is specified, then the borders contains all the borders. Okay. The borders by set values for the properties of the borders of borders object. You can specify the properties of the borders. Okay. Including a line style of the border, color of the border, and weight, the line width of the border. Okay, the borders are nice. So line style, line color, and line width can be set here. The example. For the current region of cell B2, set all its borders. So the property of line style, color, and line style. See, wrong. Okay, B2. B2. Cell borders.